I've been following this whole Peter Dinklage Snow White news that's been coming out the last couple of days. It's interesting because like I don't know. I don't think Peter Dinklage should be such a grumpy elf. I think he's made a really amazing career for himself. He absolutely blew up, I think, in his Game of Thrones role. And the last couple of days he's been kind of responding to. So this is out of the Hollywood Reporter. This just came out, I think. Gosh, is this today or yesterday? Today? No, yesterday. Disney responds to Peter Dinklage's Snow White live action criticism. So this is a film that has been in the works, I think, for years already. I think I don't know if live action, remakes take years and years to come together, but it seems like this one is just taking a while. To avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters. They won't even say dwarves.
Yeah, these 7 vertically challenged characters.
these 7, they're not really men of size. They are, junior height. 7 characters have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community, says Disney. My God, I mean, like, why do we have to take it all so seriously?
This is a misconception as well, right? Because the dwarves in Snow White, right, they are not humans with dwarfism. They're an entirely different species, and so you can't apply that same criteria to them. It's like in Lord of the Rings or whatever. You get dwarves in that.
So they're like hobbits.
They're not humans that just happen to be really small. They're like a different species. So like, what's Peter got to say about them? Nothing.
Right.
He's getting a bit too big for his boots, is this one.
I think so. He's finally too big for something. Right. So it's like these are the 7 dwarfs. So there's probably, among the 7 dwarfs, there's probably one that's considered on the tall side. And like,
I imagine there is. I'm really curious to see what they do with Dopey.
Right?
There ain't no way that's going to fly in 2022, man.
Yeah, is Dopey going to be retarded? Is Dopey going to have at least autism? Is he going to, I don't know. Is one of them going to be a hoarder? Is one of them going to be like very overweight? There's definitely going to be a trans one. There's definitely going to be
well, there has to be a diverse one, an ethnically diverse one.
Yeah, ethnically diverse for sure. There's going to be one that's like MAGA that everyone hates, and they're like, and then every time the camera pans to that one dwarf, the MAGA, he'll be watching like Alex Jones, but of the dwarf world, because that's such a popular trend now. There's always the equivalent of like Alex Jones on the TV of every character that we're like supposed to hate for their radical views. Probably be a couple trans dwarves. That's what I'm seeing. So Disney on Tuesday responded to recent harsh criticisms made by Peter Dinklage about the upcoming live-action remake of Snow White. The Emmy-winning Game of Thrones star was a guest on Monday's episode of Marc Maron's WTF, where he blasted the announced film based on the 1937 animated classic. Those were the days, right? 1937, where men could be men. After noting the casting of West Side Story breakout Rachel Zegler, Dinklage told Maron, literally no offense to anyone, but I was a little taken. Anytime he says little, I have to laugh. I wonder if he's tried to like not say it and he's like, fuck it, I can't. I was a little taken aback
I was massively taken aback.
When they were very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but then you're still making that fucking backwards story about 7 dwarves living in a cave together. What the fuck are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause from my little soapbox? He didn't say little, but I'm just, people that are listening on audio, they're putting together a mental picture. I guess I'm not loud enough. I guess I'm not tall enough. No. I would love this is almost like a full meltdown here.
Yeah, this is a tough one, right? Because I get that Peter Dinklage has probably taken a lot of shit for this kind of thing over the years, and he's a little bit tired of it. But this just seems like a really inappropriate thing to lash out at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like it's not something.
He's not involved with the Disney.
He's not involved in it. It's not cracking wise at people with dwarfism or anything. It's a completely different thing, and so it's just a weird thing for him to get mad about.
Yeah, it is. It's it seems like he's an angry elf. Disney attempted to set the record straight following the remarks. And this is, of course, they got to put out a comment right away. To avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of. What does that even look like? You have like a little focus group. They have everybody on a booster seat. Be like, all right, guys, gather around. You know, and that's the thing is that you could drop all this PC bullshit by saying this is a separate race of creatures here. This is a separate race of humanity, I guess. But they can't say that. They have to address.
Well, yeah, because then you would get like people from the dwarf activist community being like, you know, are you denying our humanity by saying we're a different species?
Right. Are you calling us like non-human or
Yeah, it's like you can't
inhuman?
win with this. And it's such this is why you don't remake classic movies like this in today's age, because they're not allowed. You know,
Yeah.
classics are not allowed anymore, and there's no way you can get away with movies like Snow White. I mean, well, already it might as well be called like generic female identifying individual and the 7 vertically challenged unique special individuals who associate with her, because that's what you're going to get basically.
Right.
And yeah, like all of that stuff, that magic that you got from movies like that, it's going to be watered down, and it's going to be, you know, homogenized and corporatized and made safe so that no one gets offended by it and no one's ever going to get entertained by it.
Yeah,
I just
I'm just remind all these movies to me feel like I imagine like a little boy and a little girl playing, and then like the little girl like takes the boys' toys, but then she like puts lipstick on them or puts dresses on all of the guys, and it's like, all right, this seems forced, and nobody's having a good time, and this is clearly worse than if you had just left these characters and these stories alone. That's how it comes off to me. And also, like the cave comment, just say that they're roommates. Just say the 7 dwarves are comedians living in New York City who have to share rent. I don't know.
are they not miners? Like they work underground because they're mining for gems or precious
Right.
gold
They
or
are
something.
minor.
So it's like they don't just fucking live in a cave because they can't build anything better. Like they work there. That's the reason for them being there in the first place.
Yeah, they're not like afraid to show their little faces.
So yeah, man, it's just this feels like a complete non-controversy from someone who just wants attention at the moment.
Controversy. That's a great word. I'm gonna have to use that. Yeah, still years from release. It's like, why do they even have to comment on it if they're like people are gonna forget about this by the time the movie actually comes out. Snow White will have cultural consultants, just like other live action films like Aladdin and Mulan.
Oh yeah, big success they were, weren't they?
Snow White. Wouldn't it be funny? I would like to see a Snow White that's actually about like a woman who's a white supremacist and she has to, like she really has to like watch what she says because it's 2022 and she
It's
has
like
to go to secret
yeah, like she,
meetings.
you know, her mom comes into her room and she has to quickly close her cupboard because there's like a white hood and cape in there. Like,
Yeah,
ah,
yeah, yeah.
don't look
Like
at
her parents barge in, they think that she's like making out with some guy, but really they're just trying on hoods.
that.
Like she has to like yeah, rip the hoods off the dwarves. Oh boy. Yeah. The film has been in development for 3 years. The studio has been reimagining the dwarf characters since the earliest stages and intended for the characters to be CG and animated. To me, that sounds like there's no way they can win.
Nope.
Uh, it's like, sorry, this was a moment in time when it was created when these weren't issues. You could talk about dwarves, midgets, bearded ladies at the circus, whatever. It's just people were who they were, and not everything had to be polished over. Joining Zegler in the live action feature are Tony Award winner Andrew Burnap and Wonder Woman star Gal Gadot is going to be the evil queen.
Oh dear.
But she's so beautiful and
She
elegant.
she she is a gorgeous creature, but she can't act. She's
Hmm.
not an actress. You know, she was fine in Wonder Woman because like the script really didn't much. It didn't ask much from her. But
Right.
then I was watching Red Notice the other day, and she had to be like this femme fatale character who was really flamboyant and, you know, like almost like a mustache twirling villain, and seductive and everything. She just couldn't do it, man. She
Yeah.
doesn't have that acting range in her, and so the idea that she's going to play an evil queen is just, yeah, it's another nail in the coffin of this film.
Right, and as a warrior, I think Gal Gadot could kind of be a little bit, like, emotionally at arm's length from the audience, which worked for her. Because right, if she's not the best actress, like, she can be a little bit kind of, I don't know, like, not as passionate and just kind of, what might come across as, like, cool, calm, collected is like, well, maybe she's not really invested in this role, and maybe her range is not, uh, so wide. But right, if she's gotta be uh, a villain, yeah, she's gonna really have to pull from pretty deep. I could see her just being a kind of blah villain, just kind of like, "Oh, no, how dare you?"
I think so. Like the original Wonder Woman, it kind of required her to be. It's weird. She was quite like soft and feminine and compassionate, which is fine. I think that's probably like not that far from her real personality. But then when she has to do anything else that falls outside that, like the second movie tried to make her do some serious heavy lifting as an actress, she couldn't do it. Like I say,
Wow.
Red Notice expected her to be this big, flashy femme fatale type character who's like a master thief and a criminal, and she had a fight scene with The Rock, which was just the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, no.
But that's another story. But yeah, she couldn't really pull it off. She was just too nice, I think.
Damn. Yeah, but she is like, she's lucky she's so hot. I think if she weren't as beautiful, she wouldn't be as successful, and I think it's okay to acknowledge, like, where someone's strengths are.
I mean, we all like to see beautiful people on screen. I mean, it's like most
Yeah!
big actors and actresses are really handsome or really beautiful. It's just that's how the world is.
It's like, "Gee, why do I like to watch this so much?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, because you it looks better than the people that I'm looking at in my house right now." It's fantasy. It's like, we're not trying to picture, I'm not Frank just turned around. "Of course, I didn't mean you, pumpkin."